Today's lesson is definite integrals. We already learned the indefinite integral. That is, if f prime of x equals f of x, then integral of f of x equals capital F of x plus c. We call this integral is an indefinite integral. Your answer will be a function, then plus a constant. Compared to this indefinite integral, we have a definite integrals. Here's the definition. If capital F of x is the antiderivative of f of x, where f of x is continuous on the interval x greater than equal to a less than equal to b, then the definite integral of f of x on this interval is definite integral of f of x from a to b equals capital F of x from a to b equals f of b minus f of a. In other words, in definite integral, you will get a function. But the definite integral, they give you a number as a solution. Let's go to guided practice 1. Find the relationship according to the properties of a definite integral. For A, first of all, you will work out the integral of x squared. According to this formula, we will get x third power over 3 from 0 to 1. According to this formula, you will get 1 to the third power over 3 minus 0 to the third power over 3. That is 1 over 3 minus 0 equals 1 over 3. So for definite integral, your answer will be a number as a solution. Let's go to B. As we know square root of x, we can write down x to the 1/2 power. According to this formula, you will get x 3 over 2 over 3 over 2. Because 1/2 plus 1 equals 3 over 2. Then from 0 to 1. For these two, we jump to the top because this is a complex fraction, denominator flip. Let's organize that. So 2 over 3. For the x to the 3 over second power, we know that is square root x to the third power. Then simplify, we get x square root of x. So we get the x square root of x from 0 to 1. We plug in 1 first. 2 times 1, square root of 1 over 3, minus, then plug in 0. 2 times 0, square root of 0, over 3. You will get the 2 over 3 minus 0 equals 2 over 3. Now let's go to C. We will do this separately. So we get x third power over 3 plus x 3 over 2, then over 3 over 2. From 0 to 1. organize x third power over 3, then plus 2 over 3 x squared of x, then from 0 to 1. We plug in 1 first. You will get 1 third power over 3 plus 2 times 1 square root of 1 over 3. Then minus. You have to put the parentheses here. Then we plug in 0. 0 to the third power over 3 plus 2 times 0 square root of 0 over 3. Then you will get the 1 over 3 plus 2 over 3 minus. This give you 0. That equals 1. From this result, we can draw a conclusion this is true. In other words, like an indefinite integral, definite integral of f of x plus g of x from a to b equals definite integral of f of x from a to b plus definite integral of g of x from a to b. There are other properties for definite integral. That is a definite integral of f of x from a to b equals negative definite integral of f of x from b to a. Definite integral of c times f of x from a to b. We can take a c outside, do the multiplication, this definite integral. And when we have a definite integral of f of x from a to b plus definite integral of f of x from b to c, that equals definite integral of f of x from a to c. So we have a to b from b to c, that equals from a to c. Try to remember these 4 properties of definite integral. Now let's go to guided practice 1, number 2. We are about to use these 4 properties to work out this definite integral. Given that definite integral of f of x from -1 to 1 equals -4, then determine the value of a. Definite integral of f of x from 1 to -1. That equals negative definite integral of f of x from -1 to 1 equals negative 4 equals 4. Go to B. I can write down this definite integral as 2 plus definite integral of f of x from -1 to 1. That is 2 plus -4 equals -2. Go to C. I can take this 2 outside, so 2 times definite integral of f of x from -1 to 1. So we have 2 times -4 equals -8. Look at the D. Find the K such that definite integral of K times f of x from -1 to 1 equals 7. We can take this k outside. K times definite integral of f of x from -1 to 1. That equals 7. So k times -4 equals 7. K equals -7/4. Now let's go to guided practice 2a. Definite integral of 1 over square root 2x minus 3 from 2 to 6. First of all, try to remember this formula. Indefinite integral of 1 over square root of x equals 2 square root of x plus c. Therefore, you will get 2 square root 2x minus 3. Don't forget to multiply by this 1 over a, that is 1 over 2. Then bracket from 2 to 6. Don't rush to plug in this 2 and 6. You have to simplify inside first. Therefore, 2 is gone. You will get square root of 2x minus 3 from 2 to 6. This time you need to plug in. So square root 2 times 6 minus 3 minus square root 2 times 2 minus 3. So you get the 12 minus 3, that's 9. Square root of 9 is 3 minus 1, that equals to 2. Now let's go to B. For definite integral of e to the 1 minus x power from 0 to 1, you will get the e to the 1 minus x power according to this formula. Don't forget to multiply by 1 over a, that is 1 over -1. Then from 0 to 1. Organize. This one give you -1 here. So you will get the negative e 1 minus x power from 0 to 1. Then this time you need to plug in negative e 1 minus 1 minus negative e 1 minus 0. You get -1 here. This give you negative e to the first power. Negative will be positive, so plus e. This question, you pay more attention to this negative sign. So when you plug in the number, you keep this negative sign. Let's go to C. According to this formula, you will get the negative cosine 3x multiplied by 1 over 3 from 0 to pi over 6. Organize, you will get the negative 1 over 3 cosine 3x from 0 to pi over 6. Then we plug in negative 1 over 3 cosine 3 times pi over 6. Remember minus, then parentheses. We plug in 0 to negative 1 over 3 cosine 3 times 0. Then this gives to you pi over 2. Cosine pi over 2, that's 0. Then negative will be positive here. Three times 0 will be 0. So you get the positive 1 over 3 cosine 0. That is cosine 0 means 1. 1 times 1 over 3 equals to 1 over 3. Let's go to guided practice 2D. Use the identity sin square x equals 1/2 minus 1/2 cosine 2x. To help evaluate this definite integral, try to remember this formula, and also cosine square x equals 1/2 plus 1/2 cosine 2x. These two formulas are so helpful to evaluate a definite integral of sin square x, and also it's a cosine square x. So first of all, we got to use this formula. Then you can get 1/2 minus 1/2 cosine 2x, like this. According to the formula, indefinite integral of constant number a, that equals ax plus c. Therefore, for 1/2, you will get the 1/2 x, then minus 1/2. For this one, you go to use this formula, that is a sin 2x. Don't forget this 1 over a, that's 1 over 2. Then we from 0 to pi over 2. Organize inside. Don't rush to plug in. So we have 1/2 x minus 1/2 times 1/2, that is 1 over 4 sin 2x. That from 0 to pi over 2. Then this time, plug in. You will get the 1/2 times pi over 2 minus 1 over 4 sin 2 times pi over 2. Then minus, using parentheses, 1/2 times 0 minus 1 over 4 sin 2 times 0. Then parentheses back. Then we organize. This one, you will get a pi over 4. This is a sin pi will be 0, so this will be 0. Then this is a 0. Sin 0 still 0. Therefore, pi over 4 will be the solution. Let's go to guided practice 3. Show that 4x plus 1 over x minus 1 may be written in the form 4 plus 5 over x minus 1. Hence, show that this definite integral equals 8 plus 5 natural log of 2. From this, go to this. We call this is a partial fraction decomposition. Here's some rules for you to figure out the partial fraction decomposition. If we have linear over linear, normally we do the a plus b over ax plus b when your denominator is only one linear function. When you have quadratic function, you factor ax plus b times cx plus d. Then you will set up like this to figure out the partial fraction decomposition. Therefore, for 4x plus 1 over x minus 1, you will get a plus b over x minus 1. Then we will work this out. That is, denominator is x minus 1. So we do x minus 1 multiplied by x minus 1. Do the distributive property. You will get the ax minus a, then plus b. This time compare to original rational function. For x coefficient, this is a, here is 4. Therefore, you can figure out a equals 4. And negative a plus b, that equals positive 1. So b equals 1 plus a, that is 5. In other words, we can get 4x plus 1 over x minus 1 equals a plus b over x minus 1. We figure out a equals 4 and b equals 5. That's we already prove. These two equals to each other. So in the future, when you have a rational function, normally we use partial fraction decomposition to work out the integral. Therefore, definite integral of 4x plus 1 over x minus 1 equals definite integral of 4 plus 5 over x minus 1 from 3 to 5. So we get the constant number that is 4x plus, according to this formula, we get 5 times natural log of x minus 1. Since the coefficient is 1, that's 1 over 1, still 1. Then it's from 3 to 5. Now we plug in 5 first. 4 times 5 plus 5 natural log of 5 minus 1. Then minus, don't forget the parentheses here. You plug in 3. You will get the 4 times 3 plus 5 times natural log of 3 minus 1. Now we organize. This will be 20 plus 5 natural log of 4. Here you will get the 12 plus 5 natural log of 2. So we do distributive property because here's a negative sign. You will get 20 plus 5 natural log of 4 minus 12 minus 5 natural log of 2. Combine like terms, you will get the 8 plus 5 natural log of 4 minus 5 natural log of 2. Using condensing property, you will get the 5 times natural log of 4 over 2. That's give you 8 plus 5 natural log of 2. Let's go to guided practice 4. Find m such as this equals to 4. Definite integral 2x minus 1 from m to 2m. According to this formula and this formula, you will get for 2x, that is 2 times x squared over 2, that minus 1x from m to 2m. Simplify first. You will get the x squared minus x. Then from m to 2m. Then we plug in 2m first. 2m squared minus 2m. Then minus parentheses. Plug in m, so you have m squared minus m. Then you do this distributive property. So we have 4m squared minus 2m minus m squared plus m. We combine like terms, you will get the 3m squared minus m. According to this given information, we know that equals to 4. So we set up this equals to 4. We got to solve this quadratic equation. We will set up equal to 0 first, then solve that by factoring. We have negative 12, negative 1 over 3 over 3. So get the negative 4, 3, reduce, it's 1, 1. Then we put the variable at the bottom. Then do the bottom up. You will get the 3m minus 4, m plus 1 equal to 0. So we get the m1 equals to 4 over 3, m2 equals negative 1. This will be the solution.